Hey guys, I wanted to bust out a video real quick. I've been working my buns off. I've got so much footage. Editing is what is the biggest challenge with my swing evolution, and I've reached my limit. I was trying to do this AMA on my laptop actually because the last time I did it, questions come up on my phone and they zip past, and I don't have time to read them. But I have to set up some sort of encoder and all this stuff for my laptop to be able to do that. So at any rate, I wanted to bust this out real quick because I wanted to tell everybody about what I'm working on right now. And in fact, I was just on my computer responding to a comment on YouTube. And, I try to honestly, hey, Leon, I try honestly to respond to every question on every social media platform and all my emails. It's daunting. It's a lot. But it's the point of what I'm talking about today. I answered an email from a guy. It's a great comment. He says, you know what? The only thing that I focus on is spin. I just focus on the spin of the ball. If I want it to curve to the left, to hit a draw, or if I want to curve it to the right. And I grew up playing tennis, so I just focus on spin. And I'm like, wow, that's really, really cool. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, that's not an option because their body mechanics do not allow them control of the path of the club head in order to make that happen. You have to be able to have a fairly neutral path and control of the club face in order to impart spin in a controlled fashion. And, it's funny because I am, the title of this is rewiring, your body. Because you literally, it's, our bodies, they want to do things that they've been trained to do. I've spent my life training my body. It's the great joy of my life, honestly. And when it comes to golf, I find that I may have lucked out in a sense that I wound up in the place that I am, and it was just following my bliss and my passion and wanting to get better at golf and sharing my journey. But when you talk about guys who are golf pros and golf teachers, I'd say 9 times out of 10 they were really good competitive golfers. And that usually happens from the time that relatively soon after they pick up the game, they've got a knack for it, they get good, they enjoy competition, and they get down to like scratch or better, and they're competing in events and honing their skills, but they never really have to tackle these swing problems, and then they wind up becoming golf teachers. And if you're a natural hey Dave, if you're a natural that has never suffered from early extension, good luck even knowing what that is. You can't even make yourself do it. Whereas amateurs like myself that are struggling to make themselves better golfers, I describe it as my El Guapo. That's my joke from Three Amigos, because Steve Martin says, we all have our El Guapos to face. That means, our shortcomings that we have to address and deal with. And my great fascination in the game of golf is related to the other pursuits that I have right now. Because I love doing these intensives. I had a wonderful intensive down in Tampa, and the 2 weekends before I did one here in Pasadena. And I get golfers of all different levels. I had a golfer who was a really fine golfer at this last intensive. I'm sure he'd kick my butt. But then there are some people who really are trying to get over these hurdles, these problems that are really, here's the problem. Hi, Mark. When you have mechanical body issues in your golf swing from the start, every golf swing that you do from that point out, you are training yourself to do it wrong. And so what happens when you've got a golfer who's been playing for 1 year, 10 years, or 50 years, and they've done it wrong, and they're over the top, they early extend, and all of that? Trying to retrain that is, it's extremely challenging, to say the least. I've got some people that, you know, they work hard and everything else, but we can't get rid of it, you know, and that's where my focus is right now, and it's leading me down a lot of different paths. Now, you know, one of my subscribers, a friend of mine that I got to meet in person finally, is Frank McChrystal. Hi, Frank, how are you? If you get a chance to watch this, it was an honor to bump into you at the PGA show. But one thing that Frank was hipping me to is he's like, look, it is a central nervous system problem, because your spine and your brain has one job that it must not override, and that is your safety. If you're gonna hurt yourself, your body is gonna stop you from doing it. So, you know, that's one of the funny things is, like, you know, sometimes I'll be trying to do something and, man, my body just will not cooperate. And I consider myself to be in the top percentile in body control. It's like, why isn't this happening? And, you know, Frank helped me to understand it's like your body's actually protecting itself. You know, so the challenge of rewiring your body is really, really something difficult, to say the least. So that's where the majority of my focus is right now in my research. I've, you know, got a couple doctors I'm talking to, tons of yoga teachers, and you know, there's just so much to Jose saying he's swinging from the wrong side. Jose, you got a good swing, man. You're gonna be really, you know, this is a journey. We're all on it together. You know, there is no wrong side of the ball. You know, another one of the guys, Tom at the intensive, told me he caddied for Mac O'Grady. I can't wait to get Tom on with some of those stories. And Tom told me that Mac O'Grady's a scratch golfer from both sides of the golf ball. So Jose, maybe that's something you can work on. You know, but Jose was at my last intensive. He came down from New York, and we were working through some of this stuff. And it's the same stuff, even though he's on he's a left-hander. He's doing the same things that I have done earlier in my swing evolution that I've had to, you know, Jose and I both had the same problem, okay? Now, this is something a lot of golfers find, okay? If I put the ball back in my stance, I hit down on it, stay left, and hit like a snapping draw or hook. I want it to draw, but sometimes it curves too much. If I just did that, I bet you I could get the ball around the course and probably learn to score pretty well, because short irons, you know, the loft is a lot more, so you have less left to right curve. And say your scoring club's on down, you know, then you just have to have a good short game. So you can become a good scorer, you know, with a limited amount of options with your ball flight. And, you know, that's something that a lot of people, that's what they want. That's all they want, is just to be able to score well. And that is, of course, the goal of golf, is to try and make a score. You know, but I mean, that's one of the goals. My goal is, and this comes from the things that I've studied that don't have a competitive aspect. Like when I'm doing something that's an art, say it's playing music, say it's ballet, yoga, it's not a competition. The only competition is with myself. So you can look at golf as a measuring stick where there's a score, and it's like, look, my score is better than all you guys today. I'm better. Whew. That's cool. It feels pretty good, you know. But sometimes, you know, your score is worse than everybody. Does it just make you feel crappy because you didn't beat everybody that day? I'm saying that there's another way to do it as well, you know. So for me, the great goal is, what can I get my body to do? And, you know, I'm still on this journey to try and reach the highest level of ball striking that I can. And that's where I'm just, I'm going through a lot of swing changes right now. I'm right in the middle of them. I mean, I'm catching the ball on the heel, on the toe, and all that stuff, but I'm okay with it because I'm just, I've made it. My first goal was to break 80, and then it was, to shoot under 75, then it was to shoot under par. Now I'm trying to break 70, so I continue to make strides in the right direction, and the distance between them gets longer, but my desire right now would be able to card some rounds in the 60s and have it not be kind of just a fluke. I could have easily, a number of times probably shot some pretty low rounds. Like, when I shot 2 under the first time, I had at least 2 or 3 putts, and I had a number of missed putts that were short. So that could have been a 66 or 67, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. But the thing is, though, man, my guys that I'm hanging around with now and I'm inspired by, my friend John Levitt just shot 10 under par at Brookside from the Gold Championship tees, man. He's 56. He shot 10 under par on the hardest course in the area. I mean, there's a par 4 that's 504 yards long. That's some really, really good golf, So I'm just so impressed by these guys, What is it that's going on with them? But again, these are guys that didn't have to spend the last several years trying to get over goat humping or over the top swinging and all this other stuff. They're just focused on getting better at scoring. So, there's a couple different paths in the game of golf. They're all valuable. Everybody's journey is unique, and I want to encourage everybody to stay on that journey. But golf is a part of my life, the things that give me great joy and expression. And, I was going to hit golf. I'll check this out. As of this, I went on a hike on Tuesday, and I got home and I weighed myself. I weighed 130.1 pounds. Yeah, I was at my peak 182 pounds. I've lost over 52 pounds, man. I had lost 20 pounds when I bought these pants, and these things are so freaking huge. I won't even stay up. It's ridiculous. But my health and fitness is something I'm really cherishing right now. And, all right, Ken's talking about fooling around with his grip stance and posture. Thanks, Leon. But golf is so cool. I mean, it's like, I was fooling around with the Matthew Wolff huge loop the other day, but I've been talking about the loop for years, because Calvin Peete has a big loop the same kind of way as Jim Furyk. These are the straightest guys there are, but the thing about the loop, I'll tell you this right now, is it makes the golf swing feel like one motion like this, as opposed to back, stop, and go down and through in 2 motions. If you're hitting a forehand topspin lob in tennis, you bring it back like this and go through. It's not like this. You loop it. And that's the feeling that those guys have. Now, I would love to, gosh, there's so much stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. But I think I'm going to have to cut this one short today. And again, I wanted to bust out this video because I have got enough material for probably 10 videos right now. And I just need the time. I've reached the max of what one person can do. This has been a one-man band. I've had so much fun. I've had a lot of freedom. It's been the most exciting time of my life. And I'll tell you, the last 4 months of my life are maybe, I'm finding things that are just a level of enjoyment and appreciation and fulfillment I've never had before in my life. And it's the culmination of all the elements coming together. But golf is just one of these wonderful things that we get to participate in our life that gives us a lot a lot of room for improvement, a never-ending challenge. Even Hogan said he was challenged all the way to the end. I just got a comment about someone trying out the Hogan grip. I'll tell you, when I was doing this Matthew Wolf session, when I was doing the loop, I switched to the interlock. I can pretty easily move from grip to grip and still hit the ball. But it's just fun to do sometimes, you know. And I'll tell you, the difference between when I do the overlapping grip, this part of my hand is not on the golf club. It's over that finger. But when you do an interlocking grip, you'll see that this very important part of the hand is on the handle, on the grip. So that's the huge difference between the interlock and the overlapping grip. Again, I just saw a question about my weight that I wasn't able to read in time. That's the problem with the phone. Well, I'm trying to do it on my computer, and then my computer said I have to download new software and yada, yada, yada. There's always something. Technology is amazing, but it's also got it, you know, it can be frustrating. But I'll tell you guys, so enjoy your evolution. That's the greatest lesson that I can give you, because, you know, what if you get to the point where your journey's over? Like you get the perfect golf swing. What would happen? Well, Tiger Woods, I think he got there in 2001. You know, I mean, gosh, he won 4 straight majors. You know, he was #1 in the world for like years in a row. And he got bored, you know, so he wanted to learn to do it a different way, and he did it another way. You know, that's the pretty cool thing about golf. It's got more than enough for any golfer in the world to explore. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm going to see Paul McCartney in concert tonight. That is one of my bucket list items. I'm so, so excited. I've been playing Beatles stuff all week. You guys probably don't know that, but like I fool around with music and stuff. I fool around with all sorts of things, you know, and I just want to experience the greatest fulfillment that I can in this lifetime. And it's an honor to share it with you. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hit 'em long and hit 'em straight.